Jack Senoff, the man, the legend. If there was a Mount Rushmore of Midwest emo lead singers, his face would be on it. While researching other bands for the channel, it seems like I come across an interview or comment section that mentions his name, one of his bands, or his lyrics. But it's pretty understandable, as his music has inspired those who love the art. William Bonney is no exception. Known as the 3-week-a-year band, William Bonney was never full-time, but their pacing is something to be admired, as it led to an amazing EP, a dope castle, and 2 fun tours. So what was their journey like, and what happened to the boys after? Let's take a look into the story of William Bonney. William Bonney was formed in South Bend, Indiana, sometime in July of 2010. The band consisted of Jack Senoff on vocals, Michael Jerstein on guitar, Josh Miller on guitar, Ethan Code on bass, and Garrett Cabello on drums. The boys jammed for a couple of weekends in local rapper Domino's basement, got some songs together, and recorded the fall demo, released on September 22nd, 2010. This demo was mixed by Mike Mellon, friend of the band and fellow drummer. After the demo released, Garrett had to lead the band as his parents made him quit. He was replaced by Henry Pacheco, also known as Hank. In 2011, the boys went back into the studio to record their debut EP, Good Vibes, released on April 30th, 2011 on their Tumblr page. The EP was recorded in March and self-released by the band on cassette. It was also released on cassette in Germany by Carson Records. From 2012 to 2015, Sometimes I Get Drunk Records, now known as Major Bear Records, released the EP on vinyl. On May 11th, the band started a Kickstarter to help with their upcoming 2011 summer tour. This would help with gas, getting merch, and shipping it off. $10 got you some special pins, patches, and a copy of the Good Vibes EP on tape. However, on June 19th, a post was made about the cancellation of the 2011 summer tour. The Kickstarter was also canceled, and everyone got their refunds. Here's what Jack wrote in the post. "We will not be going on this tour this summer as originally planned. Despite raising money for gas costs and making a big hoopla about it all, Michael and I have made the personal decision not to go. Nothing dramatic happened. We just don't have it in us. And we're sorry. William Bonney was always a finite thing, as we dressed up as a real band, perhaps deceiving and wrongly so, in an attempt to have as much fun as we could before moving on with our lives. We knew since last August that we'd be parting ways after the summer, but it seems that the time has come a little sooner than expected. Keep your eyes open for news and updates and things. We're really sorry to disappoint a lot of you." The next post clarified that the band is still together, but now part-time. They also announced their last 3 shows. The Generic in South Bend, which was canceled, a venue in Chicago, Illinois, with Droughts, on August 4th, and the final show at the Generic with Jaws, Chin Up, Pessoa, and Droughts. Hank went MIA in the West Coast, so Mike Mellon filled in for the last 2 shows.
So this next song is our last song. We may or may not play another show sometime in the future, but given my track history, I'll probably play a lot more shows with this band, but yeah, so this is our last song, and I mean, it's for the guys in this band, because they really become some of my best friends, you know, blah, 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 but yeah, it's a bummer that we don't have to be a band anymore, so it's called See You Later. First song we ever wrote, etc. And thanks everyone for coming.
On January 27, 2012, Jack wrote a blog post announcing an East Coast summer tour from July 12th to the 27th. It was also announced that Hank was officially out of the band and that Mike Mellon would become a permanent member. On February 7th, the Drought/William Bonney split was released on Era Records, with the vinyl releasing on July 13th. On May 14th, William Bonney released the dates for the tour, and another on July 4th with updated listings. On July 12th, the boys prepared to head on tour, bringing along Mason Benkei, the merch guy, and Eric Senef, Jack's little brother and muscle man. Here are some live shows from the tour. On January 1st, 2013, Jack writes a blog post about the tour overall and the band's future plans. Here's a quick summary. Mike Mellon left the band, and John Cioric, drummer of Droughts, filled in. A West Coast tour was being planned, starting in California, visiting Oregon and Washington, then coming home through the Middle States. A Texas South by Southwest show was announced for March. They also talked about a new album being recorded before the summer. There was a 4-way 7-inch split that was supposed to happen on an unknown label. The song would have been Dope Castle. Finally, a repress of Good Vibes from Sometimes I Get Drunk Records was on the way. On March 1st, the first announcement of dates for the upcoming tour were posted, with an updated version posted the day before they set off. On July 1st, the Lamp Foundation released all our songs on cassette. This featured the split, Fall Demo, Good Vibes EP, and Monsters Acoustic. On June 21st, the band set out on their last tour. At some point during the tour, Mike Kenway helped out drumming. Here are a few clips from the tour. After the tour, the band decided to call it quits. It seems like the lack of passion for the music and inter-band conflict impacted the chemistry.
You didn't think anybody would even like it.
No, I mean, I figured people would like it. I mean, at this point, Merchant Ships and Midwest Pen Pals kind of had a following or whatever. Not like it is now, whatever the fuck it is now, but, it had enough
positive feedback.
Yeah, enough positive feedback, and we had enough momentum still that it was like, okay, let's do this band and people will care, at least a little bit. And they did, and William Bonney existed for a little while, and we went on a couple tours. We did one on the East Coast and then a really big one out west. And, I mean, they were great. They were like, real sort of pivotal moments in my life. I was in my early 20s. I mean, I'm still in my early 20s, but it was like, a period of where I like needed to like see the world,
super
and
young,
get some perspective on culture and kind of figure out who I was, as cliche as that sounds. But and so through William Bonney, I was able to do that. And by the time we were at a point where like maybe we could have done it full time, Josh, our guitarist, hated Michael, the other guitarist, and I wasn't really in a position to like mediate that relationship anymore. I had moved to Washington the year before to, at the time, just live in Washington. I hadn't started going to school yet. And so it was just sort of like, hey, we can keep getting together in the summer and playing our fucking, 8 songs? That rip. I mean, they're still good songs, but it's, we couldn't write a new album. We tried. There's like 4 or 5 songs that kind of exist. I didn't scream or anything, but that exist. And they sound really cool, but they sound really different, because everyone gets older. You get new interests, new tastes. And so, like, William Bonney was this kind of contained moment. In a way that Midwest Pen Pals is a contained moment, so is William Bonney.
Yeah, especially when you're that young. A band is like one batch of songs.
Right.
It's like, let's have a few songs like this.
Right.
It's really hard to get past.
Totally. We William Bonney, one summer before tour, we wrote a new song. I think, what do we end up calling it? Dope Castle, I think it's called. And it's a good song, but it doesn't really mean anything to me because I tried, at that point, I didn't care about Screamo anymore, really. And so, like, I tried to write this song that, like, felt like the old songs, but it didn't. Like, there were a couple William Bonney songs that when I played them, I mean, I'd get choked up while I played because, they were, like, about my brother or about my, you know what I mean? They were just, like,
real.
They were so real. And so even, like, 2 or 3 years removed, I felt something for them,
Uh-huh.
And so I had this kind of, like, I don't know, like an existential, not crisis, but just an existential kind of thing where it was like, these don't mean anything to me, and it's not, I can't keep playing them, Or sorry, they still mean something to me, but they don't, but they're not relevant anymore, Yeah,
that's a hard time. That killed me. I actually kind of I kept playing music after that age, but not. I couldn't really.
Yeah.
It's so hard when you see real life right around the corner,
right?
And you realize how stupid you were when you were young,
right.
And how I don't know. It's hard to do the same kind of thing. Do you want to try to get under the umbrella a little bit?
Oh, that might work. I don't want to get too burned. No, yeah. And so I just kind of quit playing music for a little while. I just William Bonney probably could have gone on and done a lot of cool shit. But like I said, it was just the personal relationships weren't really intact. They weren't strong enough to. We couldn't have been a touring band. You know what I mean? We would have fucking killed each other.
Yeah. I know that.
Or rather, Michael would have killed Josh, or Josh would have killed Michael. But and we didn't really have a drummer. It just didn't make sense. The bands that I see who are successful now, ones that I know or otherwise, the dynamic of the band is tight. You know what I mean? Whether the music.
On December 13th, 2018, Skeletal Lightning Records released All 10, bringing together the entirety of the band's discography, the Good Vibes EP, their side of the 7-inch split with Droughts, and the one-off single, Dope Castle. It was fully remixed and mastered by drummer Mike Kenway. To this day, William Bonney, Nola, and Jack Son of himself are signed to the label. William Bonney is one special band. While playing so little, they've accomplished a lot, releasing an EP, a split, and a dope single. Not only that, but they played 2 tours, one being across the country. Their music felt more like a refined and heavier Merchant Ships, with powerful lyrics about love, feeling hopeless, and family issues. Too bad they couldn't become full-time, as I think they would have toured with bands like Law Dispute. William Bonney was a shedding of skin as the members went off to do softer types of music. It may be the end of the Screamo arc, but the story isn't over. But what do I know? I know nothing. Thank you for watching.